Well, 2023 is already gone. Can you believe it? I'm going to go for a hike today, and I'm going to discuss how we did on our 2023 goals and come up with some 2024 goals, share them with you guys, try to make myself accountable. Come along on a hike with me. First thing I'm going to do is put on my new jacket. That was a present to myself. I bought this off of Amazon. This is a TideWe jacket. I bought the extra large. It's got a heater. It's got the memory bank right down in here. And I can press this and it'll turn on red dot. I press it one more time. And I can turn it on high, medium, or low. I'm gonna start it with high. And we got the red dot here. The memory bank goes on the inside there. We'll make this a base layer. So I'll wear slightly less bulky clothes than I typically would because I have this heated vest on. We'll see how it works out. Well, talking about with the 2023 goals, one of our around the farm goals was an improved fire pit. If you look over my shoulder here, we made no improvements. We also talked about a deer pull. We did not accomplish that. One of the farmhouse goals, improve the fire pit, deer pull. But first we had a giant problem, and that was that our old 4x6 that we built last spring, we had the freeze thaw and had about a 60-70 mile an hour wind come up, and the wind caught that rooftop, and we did not have our pillars deep enough, and we're sharing some pictures here as I talk about that tree blind blew over. So we build back better, right? Isn't that one of the mottos of maybe the current president? I can't remember. Anyway, we build back better, and this time we built a 6x6 blind, and it's really nice. At least 3 foot deep holes, poured concrete, a couple bags of quickcrete for each post, and then I put, it's hard to see, but we put about another 2.5 foot of dirt around all of those pillars in about a 5 foot wide mound. And then on top of that, we took earth anchors and buried those 2 foot deep and put coated wire cable on there from 2 angles plus 1 anchoring it below. And this has been a great hunting blind. We also learned from our mistakes and planted the roof so that when the prevailing wind from the west, with no protection from trees, comes over this ridge top, which is just to the side of us, now it can scoop up and over. Another great improvement we did was adding these hunting windows. These are actual glass 42-inch wide windows, and it is absolutely amazing hunting out of this blind. No deer taken out of this blind this year, but a lot of deer seen, and saw some bucks, but no giant bucks. But this is going to be a dynamite blind as time goes on. The reason for that, as we look over this direction, we'll see right here, we have hazelnuts, apple trees, persimmon, all going to be growing there. So over the next 10 years, next decade, this blind area should just be amazing. And then coming down this direction, this is all food plot, and we are going to expand upon our food plots this year. We're looking forward to great things coming out of this hunting blind. If you've been following me for the chestnuts, we're walking in a newer part of the orchard. This was a 2015 through 2017 planting, mostly more towards the 2017. You can see the chestnuts are doing pretty good. In fact, I found a burr here that had not popped open. It was on the ground, and it actually has a chestnut in it. My plan this year for the chestnuts is, if you recently followed my video on growing chestnuts and what I would do 10 years later, I talked about that I would start them in wire cages. Well, I'm going to put that to the test this year. I'm going to do a test plot with 1 and 2 year old bare root trees, and I'm going to do some in tube, and I'm going to do some inside wire cage. and we'll just see. But my overall opinion is I'm going to get a more robust tree. Maybe not as tall as Quick, but if I put the wire cage around it, it will be protected. So I'm going to add a few more chestnuts. I'm going to plant them side by side, and over the next couple years, we're going to prove our point, or we'll see if my instincts are wrong when it comes to my 10-year recommendations. These have all been grown in tubes and they're doing good, but if you see, there's a slight leaning bias from the wind. I think having them in the wire cages will get rid of that. Also, the nursery where I grow bare root chestnuts, I'm going to work on getting that expanded, and I'm going to try to really expand out to where I can offer 2-year-old bare root trees on a regular basis. They'll be much more robust bare roots and still able to tolerate the shock of bare root transplant. Look at the chestnuts here. This is a Dunstan. It's got one, looks like double embryo chestnut, and 2 non-filled frozen. Harvesting chestnuts off the ground January 4th. Just to take you through some of the original part of the orchard here. These are trees that I planted as bare root trees in the spring of 2015 on tax day, April 15th, US tax day. We got a pretty solid tree here. And you can see this tree I'm walking up on now graduated to a wire cage. And can't put my hand around it. Got another 1.5 inches I need to get that diameter. Nice solid tree. I can reach 8 foot up. This is 16 to 17 foot tall. Really solid tree. Looks healthy all the way. And just wanted to show you some of the trees as we're here on this cold day. It's in the mid-20s Fahrenheit. We'll walk you over here. This is the tree you've seen many times. If you follow my channel, you'll be able to see that this is a tree that's been rubbed up. This side actually looks pretty good, although it has a slight lean. The other side has the healing ulcer from the bucks rubbing on it. We'll take you now to our pond goal for 2024. If you remember, our 2023 goal was to add largemouth bass. We had started with fathead minnows, then we went to adding bluegill, gave them a year, and then we added perch late in the fall of 2022, and then in 2023 spring we added largemouth bass. Those largemouth bass seem like they're doing well. They went from 7 to 8 inches to about 1 foot long, and I've come to the conclusion after looking at the size of the pond that we probably overpopulated on perch. So my goal this year is to remove about 30 perch, and I'm going to add about 5 pounds of fathead minnows once the water gets warm enough for them to start reproducing. And hopefully that'll give the carnivores that are in here enough food to keep the fish population healthy. We've got the water level is up right now to the level of the overflow, just at that level, and we added the gates to the agri-drain inline control. We added a gate, a 4-inch gate, to get it up to that level. It looks nice and full right now. We got about 1.5 inches of 2 inches of snow on the ground, and our farm pond goals, I would say we were a success. We had very good success, although none of us caught a largemouth bass last year. We did see them fighting when I'd feed the fish and the fatheads were there. The bass did figure that out and were coming in and busting the fathead minnows. But in the next little bit, they'll be big enough to be busting bluegills as well. So should be fun watching this pond progress as we start from the clean slate a few years ago to having 4 different types of fish in there. And mainly our goal is just to kind of keep the population that's there healthy and remove some of those carnivore mouths to eat. And maybe we'll even remove a bass or 2, we'll see. So that's 2024 pond goals. As we move up from the pond, we'll show you our food plots. We'll talk a little bit about food plot goals. Last year we talked a little bit about using switchgrass or miscanthus to get a border. And after getting some of the feedback from viewers, I got nervous about it. But this year we're really going to take our food plots to another level. We've added a couple pieces of equipment. We've really improved our disc situation. We had a disc that was pretty lightweight and was not near as heavy. We've been able to purchase a new one that is much heavier, and we added a 6-foot grain drill that we're going to be able to put some of the small seeds all the way down to grasses into the soil. And I've purchased a row of annuals from Big Time that's going to have Egyptian wheat and so forth in it, that I'm going to be able to use to do some screening. Because if you look up here in this food plot, we're really kind of a blank slate at this time of year, and I'd like something to be able to hold up. I know Egyptian wheat may not hold up to 12 and 14-inch snows, but until we get our permanent things such as our hazelnut hedgerows, our apple trees established, along with persimmons, which you can see, we got a chestnut tree kind of right up here, the lone tree with leaves still. We need to get our food plot game up and hopefully get back to having a great crop of corn. We've had 2 failed crops due to poor rain, and one we had a washout right after, and the next year we had a slight rain and then no rain for 4 weeks. So we've had ruined crops for corn 2 years in a row. That's my 2024 farm goals. Got to tell you, the TideWe Vest has been a pretty awesome addition. I've got it on the medium setting, and I just have a t-shirt, I have that, and I have this light fluffy coat on, and I am perfectly warm walking around, and it is in the mid-20s. My first time using this, it has been really awesome. I've used it for about an hour and a half today. For 80 bucks or whatever it was on Amazon, pretty awesome Christmas present to myself. But look out there, beautiful, kind of a monochromatic landscape today with the black and white kind of look. Just in a few months, this will be vibrant with birds singing. It'll be an amazing time out here, and I can't wait to chase those gobblers and start working on food plots for next fall. Hopefully your plans are coming along. We got some chestnut updates coming up soon. We'll be checking on the seeds inside and talking about our indoor growing plans and our outdoor growing plans soon. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.